I'm Jeremy, the Internet Scrum Master. I have over 20 years experience in tech and finance. I've worked across service desk, QA, server and application administration, and release management. And for the past decade, I've been a full-time Scrum Master. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're talking velocity in Scrum. What it is, what it isn't, and why maintaining a consistent velocity over a long period of time is preferable to increasing the velocity over the same period of time. Why a consistent pace is better than trying to go faster. We'll also cover how teams can and do deliver more over time without increasing velocity, and why this is what you want as a manager. Velocity is a measure of how much work a Scrum team delivers during a sprint, expressed in story points. Let's say your team completed 5 stories worth a total of 20 points. Your team's velocity is 20. When we talk about a team's velocity, we usually talk about their average velocity, usually over the past 3 months or 6 sprints. So in our example, if we complete 20 story points this sprint, 18 the next, and 23 the following sprint, then our average velocity is still 20. It doesn't need to be exact from sprint to sprint, but also there shouldn't be a large variance. Before we get too far along on the velocity train, it's probably good to stop here and review what a story point is. A story point is a number on the Fibonacci sequence that denotes the size of a work item relative to the size of another work item. It's an abstraction over time, risk, uncertainty, and complexity, and it is an estimate. It's not meant to serve as a contracted amount of time something will take to complete, with the exception of the team agreeing to complete the agreed upon number of story points for a sprint. So if they agree to complete 20 points in a sprint, they would be expected to complete 20 points that sprint. But we would accept 18, 23. We wouldn't want to see 10 or 30. We would want to keep it within a pretty narrow range. Story points are used to allow developers of different skill levels to estimate quickly, consistently, and with a good amount of accuracy. For example, one work item may take a senior developer 1 day to complete and a junior developer 3 days to complete. But they can both agree that the work item is somewhat bigger or somewhat smaller than a different work item. So over the course of several sprints, the team develops a common understanding of how each story is sized and can estimate them quickly, with the goal being to have all of your backlog estimated, or if your backlog is large, perhaps the top third of it estimated. So once there are a few sprints of history, velocity becomes a powerful tool for forecasting. Keeping with the same 20-point average velocity from earlier, if you have a product backlog with 100 points of estimated work, it is easy to see that the work will take 5 sprints or 10 weeks, assuming you're running 2-week sprints. Product owners and stakeholders can use this to project feature delivery timelines and make decisions about what to prioritize. The problem that I often see happening with velocity is twofold. First, managers see velocity and want it to go up. Can't you guys do 30 points next sprint? Of course, the answer is yes. We can absolutely hit 30 story points. We can hit 300 points. Points are relative and defined by the team. If you tell a team how many points you want them to do, they will find a way to complete that many story points. We may call our iterations sprints because they are short. However, over the course of the year, they can feel much more like running a marathon. Asking teams to increase their velocity each sprint is like asking a marathon runner to get progressively faster over the course of the marathon without telling them when it ends. It's not cool. Even if they don't inflate the estimate intentionally, they may do it unintentionally. Also, they may push harder to hit 30 story points, but they may burn out. They might cut corners. You might see a drop in quality. So now what? The team is doing 20 points and we know how long the backlog will take to complete, but we do want to get better and we want to deliver more. How do we do that? Teams will get more efficient at the work that they do. They will introduce automation, test automation, other automation, whether it's continuous integration, continuous delivery. Those things will be introduced over time The team will also discover new ways to complete the work faster. Imagine the team takes on a new product or a technology, and they have an associated user story, just some predefined amount of work, and we're going to just say that work is 5 story points. So over time, they become familiar with the product and the technology. A couple months later, a similar user story comes in. It's not the same, it's close, but now we've learned some things about the product, about the technology from that first user story. We've started doing some test automation. So now we can say, this is a 3-point story. Essentially the same story, obviously not exactly the same, but same basic amount of work that used to be 5 points is now 3 points. Now, we will still take 20 points into the sprint, but now more work will get done. And because we continually estimate and refine the backlog, that new estimate will be reflected in those stories that are similar. So what we thought were 5s, we'll go back through that backlog, and we will refine those stories. We'll say, oh yeah, okay, well, we thought that was a 5 before, it's a 3. So now we have same 20 story points, more work's getting done, and we are keeping the projected completion dates accurate. A stable velocity, a consistent pace over time, that gives you predictability, which is way more valuable than always trying to do more story points in a sprint. Right, so next time someone asks you how to increase your team's velocity, try asking instead, is our velocity stable? Is it helping us forecast? Are we delivering value? Are our customers happy with what we're giving them? That's all for today. Until next time, thank you. Take care.